all live and die. We all live in like that,
No,
and then we decompose.
But when it
that
becomes
kind of stuff.
cyclical,
Yeah.
the cause becomes the effect.
And if you apply that to like, I don't know enough about Islam to
But
really talk about it.
if we
But-
discuss about this cycle, then we cannot get the universe at first place.
But if, let's say,
Let me give you an example. For example, I'm gonna give this water bottle to him.
yeah,
So in the line, you are in the queue. There are some brothers in the queue.
Yeah.
So if there is an infinite number of people in this queue,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna pass it to him, can he get the bottle? If there is an infinite number of people between me and him,
if they're in an
infinite number of people. Do you understand the? Obviously, you understand
yeah,
the
but
infinity.
how would I don't?
Let me give
could
you a
apply that to like the universe context
Yeah.
because I'm struggling.
It's
to
like
do
the
that.
infinite
Because, like, let's
regress
say
of
you have-
dependent things.
I don't want to speak on it because I don't know like enough about it. But like Muhammad, right? Person
You know,
in the
we'll
flesh.
go to- we'll
Yeah,
go to
how
Muhammad,
he was.
no problem.
What was he dependent on? What like
Same
where did
things
that
we're
end?
dependent upon.
He's
Oxygen, food.
He's a human being. He was
We
a
don't
human
believe
being.
he's God.
We don't believe Muhammad, peace be upon him, is God. We don't believe he's some kind of divine in the sense who our Christian believe. We believe he's a. Didn't what?
I'm choking on myself.
Sometimes there's a bit of pollen that just comes. It happened to
Yeah.
me last time as well.
But didn't he make? I don't know enough about it. But what about the Al Mirage? Like the journey to?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not something a human would do, right? Like make a journey
That
to
we know of.
heaven. Yeah.
Because science is based upon induction,
But
right?
would that make him an exception?
Yeah, that's what miracles are. They are exceptions based upon the rules that we have, isn't it?
But he's still human. But how?
He's a human, but the
I think-
experience is non-human.
Yeah, I think,
How can he
I
talk
think
to
I,
angels?
I think we'll go to the miracles and others. Let's talk about the fundamental things, which is existence of God.
Yeah.
So, do you so far agree this energy or the power
Yeah.
does have some agents behind the energy? Do you so far agree on this?
Well, can't it just be energy?
No, because energy cannot.
loose-
Energy is dependent.
And energy cannot
Yeah.
exist
But
by itself.
couldn't the carrier itself just be the universe?
Oh no. Because
I mean, I understand that that's like a boundless thing, but like,
do you know why?
why does it have to be strictly physical, strictly, line, like,
Okay, so
like
if you
carceral
if you
thing.
say that energy is universe, then
Yeah.
if you look at the third law of thermodynamics, what it's saying, this universal entropy is getting higher and higher every single day, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at
universal atrophy?
the entropy, yeah,
okay.
universal entropy cannot be negative, and it will be higher in the time
Yeah.
span, right? So if you look at the universal entropy, maybe it's 25 degree now,
Yeah.
25 degree in today's world, maybe 100 years later it will be 30 degree. So what we are saying, if the universal entropy is increasing,
Yeah.
and in first law and second law, if it cannot be decreased less than zero, meaning it cannot be negative, then we cannot get the eternal universe.
So, the universe, because it...
Universal entropy, yeah.
Yes, because it,
Universe, yeah.
decays.
We do have the universe, yes,
Yes,
chaos.
but yeah, because therefore it cannot carry energy.
No, that's not. So, you understand the universal entropy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So according to the
Okay, let me take it another way, yeah?
I'm not very science.
That's absolutely
Yes,
fine.
yeah.
Let me just posit a rational point to you. When you see the design and everything that you see around you, and how the universe came to be, there seems to be only three options. If there are more, feel free to let me know. Either, like the brother said, it came by chance,
Yeah.
it came by nothing, or it created itself, or something created it. Which of those options do you think makes the most sense? Chance, nothing creating itself, or something creating it?
I mean, from my very limited scientific knowledge,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't want to say it with confidence because I don't know, and I don't think any of us know. But I would say I wouldn't be, completely unconvinced with it coming from nothing. I don't like.
Okay.
I wish I knew more about it, but I think delving. I guess like my question then is if it's created by this.
Before we jump to
creator.
that, Before we jump to that, though,
how does it like translate into this life? Into
before
this
we get to that, the point
we're living in now.
the point that the selection that you've made, the nothing semantically means no thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have
Like
got my hand,
nihilo.
yeah, ex nihilo, yeah. There's nothing there, no thing, the absence of something.
Yeah.
So how can the absence of something create a thing? We have no experience, no understanding, no evidence for this even being possible.
Yeah, but there's not. I mean,
And
that's
does
the
that
thing
make
with
sense
all of
to you,
the
though?
That's the thing with, you know, you can throw theories at it. You can.
No, but
think
does
up
that
of
make sense
every-
to you, though? How nothing can create something? On the level.
On the. I wouldn't. I'm trying to think about how to answer this. I think.
You can answer it however you want, just honestly.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm not here to get
I think
you or
that-
something, yeah.
I would need a greater understanding of physics to really. But I wouldn't.
But do you understand
If
nothing?
it were to, because right, like from what I understand, right, I think by nothing, what I mean is like that
Something.
That
That's what Lawrence Krauss says. Nothing, he believes, is something,
I mean,
which is not really nothing.
When you say nothing, we mean absence of everything.
absolutely. I think that
Absence
that's
of
true.
probability, absence of everything. Yes.
Yeah.
So can this nothing? Anyway, one question. Does nothing have any particles or property?
I think a particle, like particles, yes.
Then it's not nothing.
But I think this is using a very strict definition of nothing.
It's not. How do we use nothing in our daily life?
I think it's the matter that we're talking about that would create a universe and come together and then explode and that kind of stuff. I think, you know, and what such something that created the universe, it's not really within our, like as scientists have tried, it's not really within our current, like even like language to really explain.
Let me just burst your bubble slightly.
Yeah.
When it comes to science, science doesn't claim to answer these questions. Yeah. In fact, questions of morality, questions of why things exist, law of non-contradiction. In fact, even the external world around us can't be proved scientifically. That's why I said we go into a realm called philosophy and rationality, testimony, and inference as well.
I think that nothing seems.
I think she is drunk.
Nothing. I think nothing is well, like it's like a sort of a balance of like, oh yeah, it could be a divine creator or it could be nothing, and it's like I just don't understand why anything would be more convincing than the other.
I think you know the answer to this. When it comes to our understanding of nothing, it means the absence of something.
Yeah, but
It's not that complicated. I know they make it complicated.
By nothing, I mean I'm thinking of like particles coming together.
I know.
So like definitely something, but not
like a quantum vacuum.
But not like the thing in which I think by thing that I mean is something that is like that defies like what we currently have to explain it now. Does that make sense?
What name should I call you?
Definition of thing.
What name should I call you?
Cordelia.
Cordelia.
Yes.
That's a very unique name.
And
okay. Cordelia. Zishan.
Yes.
Zishan and Nazmun. Big up Nazmun. And Cordelia.
I think because like right now you look at a thing like a tree and that kind of stuff. That didn't exist.
Cordelia.
That's my definition of thing.
Look.
Yeah.
I want to speak first principles, yeah? I'm not here as a got you or making things complicated for you. You can go and have a conversation with somebody else and you can believe in something totally different. I'm just saying for the sake of this conversation, let's just keep things simple. You don't have to be a quantum mechanist to understand the world.
I think
when for example you're talking about nothing, it's nothing. When you're talking about something, it's something. That's how logic works. Like if I am crossing the road, then I will end up on the other side. It follows. If I'm crossing the road and I end up in Japan because there's a quantum fluctuation and I can end up there, but that's not the inference to the best explanation.
I would argue that a lot of the, theories for the creation of the universe are quite illogical. They don't really follow our general conventions of
More
logic.
illogical than nothing? Like this,
Yeah,
there
but
was nothing, then there's something.
Like the definition of thing, I feel like.
Okay, if you say nothing does have some particular something, so define those
It's
attributes. Define the attributes of
Because
nothing.
like the theory we have right now, at least from my very limited understanding of it, is the singularity exploding. Da, 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 da.
No, no.
And I'm thinking of like the little infinite. I can never say this word, but infinite sum and very very small particles, very very small. So much so, can we even call them a thing? Coming together and then exploding. That's what I mean. That's what I believe.
No, it's from the universe. We are talking about the where does the universe come from. You are talking a position where universe already exists, and from this existence you are getting the expansion of nuclear fission and nuclear fission. We are not talking about the nuclear fission and nuclear
Okay.
fission. We are talking about the before the universe. What's the origin of the universe? I do understand what you are talking about.
Like before those particles,
Yes?
what was there before
those
that?
Well, what
particles-
do you guys think?
Okay, excellent. So what we are asking, can this universe come from nothing? And in that regard, you said yes. Then we are saying again, can this universe come from nothing? Do you understand which nothingness we mean? We mean the before the universe, not after the universe.
Just black, just nothing. Like
That's
not nothing. Nothing. I feel like isn't the. It's a.
Can nothing create something?
I don't. It's not. I feel like using like words like nothing, where it's very sort of like.
Okay, let me make it easier. The scientific nothing and the normative nothing. We can distinguish it like that.
Yeah. I mean.
You believe in the scientific nothing, which is something.
I want to know what you guys think
Okay,
before.
I'll tell you what we think.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we
that
think.
way I can sort of understand where you're
No
coming
problem,
from.
no problem. Quite simply, the definition of the creator in Islam is the one, the independent, he does not beget, nor is he begotten,
Yeah.
and there's none like him. Yeah? In other words, it is the singular,
Yeah.
it doesn't have children, doesn't make children, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Now, if you tackle this philosophically, it's the infinite regress. Like I said, there has to be an end to that chain, which is the necessary existence. We believe that the end of that chain is a necessary existence that has will, power, which has, intelligence, wisdom, has all of these properties, and we term that as God. Further from that, Cordelia.
Yes.
So Cordelia, what we say is that then it's a scaffolding argument. That we say, okay, philosophically it makes sense. Rationally, like I said to you, chance doesn't create stuff. Chance merely explains natural phenomena. It doesn't.
Because it's relied on something to make.
Yeah, for example, a ball is moving on the snooker table. The law of motion is not the one creating the ball or making the ball move. It's telling us the trajectory of it and the law of motion. The chance doesn't create something. To say chance creates something falls in a logical fallacy called the fallacy of reification, where you're giving something abstract, concrete properties. For example, like you're saying, the rolling of the dice has created the universe, which we know doesn't make sense. So it's our way, just like Stephen Hawking said, gravity created everything, but gravity is a force. Gravity itself doesn't. Yeah, and it's descriptive, not creative. So that's the issue when it comes to chance. Issue with nothing. That's why I was saying that. Look, hand on your heart, you can either read the book about the 500 pages telling you what nothing is, which the conclusion is it's something, but the issue still remains. Where did that thing come from? And you still falling within this notion, and that's why that science ends there, philosophy begins there, and that's why you say, are we really living in infinite? Because if we are, then let's just say I was to throw a bottle. That was the example that he was giving. If I have to ask someone's permission, he has to ask someone's permission, and it goes on for infinity, I won't get to throw the bottle because somebody has to end the chain for me to be able to do it. So for us to exist means that there is logically an end to that chain. Now the question, Cordelia, is this individual, this being that's created us has intelligence, has wisdom, has a will. Yeah. Now, would he or it just leave us wandering in the universe? logically and rationally, it doesn't befit that of a wise being to do that. Yeah, it's more befitting of a wise person, even a person that's sitting in front of a canvas. If you put brush to the canvas, it means there's an intentionality, there is a will, like the brother was saying. Yeah, that there is an intention behind it. Now the question would be, which book? Which book makes the most sense, Cordelia? And here we can start looking at scientific things. For example, do you have manuscripts dating to the time of preservation? The Quran is the only one out of the major religions that claims to have manuscripts dating to the time of the Prophet. The language of revelation, is that a live language? Well, we say it is. Arabic is the top 5 most spoken languages on the planet. Jesus spoke Aramaic. That's an endangered language. Christians don't have access to that language. The New Testament is in Greek, Koine Greek. They don't have access to that language. Do you see? So in terms of preservation,
I understand like the whole the fallacy you were talking about is sort of applying this abstract, you know, these concrete properties of which we've developed within our own world to this. However, I think I hesitate a little bit when it comes to that coming from a, because like you said, this omniscient creator, etc., who taught him that? Who taught that to be? Who taught him to choose? Who taught him to be wise? I think we're just falling, like you said, this infinite chain of who started where, and you know, you can just sort of set up a marker at that point.
But there's an assumption there. The assumption is that this creator must follow the laws of the created beings. We believe he's uncreated, so he doesn't fall within the criteria that you're applying to created beings.
Why can't then the universe coming from nothing, that doesn't, let's say that didn't follow the same criteria, why can it only not follow the same criteria?
Because the universe is dependent. God is independent, like the necessary existence. That's why philosophically the two have different criteria.
But how do we know?
But philosophically, rationally.
Yeah, but can God be explained rationally?
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
No, but like, how can you like decipher this? I believe, isn't it like omniscient, omnipotent, you know, being?
I think Cordelia, you can make some connection with your, when you first said there is a power or energy behind this universe.
Yes.
So if you look at the power or energy, as we discussed, this power doesn't have the ability to do something by itself. So it has to be possessed. So if this power is possessed or this energy is possessed, then there has to have the free will in order to use this energy.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you agree so far?
Yes.
So what we agree, there is a power.
Which was a conscious being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so far we agreed then. There is a conscious being. Okay. So what we are saying.
So even I didn't. So what you're saying is energy had to be contained in some conscious being, yes?
Not in some conscious being. By definition of energy.
Yeah, it has to have a carrier.
It has to have a carrier, or it has to be possessed by something else.
Yes.
Outside of just being energy, right? So then, in order to use this energy, there has to have something or someone or some being or some originator which can use this energy by his, her or it free will, right?
Yeah.
So we are getting energy, then we are getting it possessed by something else, then we are getting this something else has the free will to use the energy, right?
Yes.
Then what we are saying, in order to...
Wait, so energy is inextricable with free will? Is that what you're saying?
Not energy is free will, energy is used by something else, some agent, which does have free will.
Yeah, but wouldn't that mean that they're intertwined? How can you separate that? Because surely a ball doesn't have free will.
You do have the free will, for example, you do have the free will and you do have the energy. Your energy is not your free will. That's a completely distinct thing.
But wouldn't that, I mean, I just think, you know, free will it relies on a really like anthropocentric sort of like these sentient beings, you know? I don't think like as it should be something more, if we're talking about like this, shouldn't it be something more universal, something applicable to like, and you know, like the plants and the you know, and the ground that we walk on, like stuff like that. Like I'm as the God that Allah is that?
Yeah.
Allah. There you go.
Yeah.
Allah, like as. Isn't it like, wait, how do you say it correctly? I want to make sure that I
Allah.
respect it. Allah. How do you, like, how can we explain, like, these humans sort of, like, because Allah created, you know, the plants and the trees, stuff that isn't really explainable by free will.
Not necessarily, because when it comes to will, we have a very simple litmus test. The fact is, and this again goes into philosophy, which means that if there was no creation, and then at one time creation started, that means there is a will, there is a choice that creation began. So that indicates will. And then if dependent things emerge, and those dependent things could be any other way, that means again a choice and agency is picking and organizing those things into their component parts. For example, the objective design that you see, whether it's, you know, symmetry and butterflies, the symmetry even on your face, like it actually falls within the golden ratio. I don't know if you knew that as well. on our faces, because from the
Fibonacci sequence,
Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, like for example, the middle of the eyebrows to the middle of the lips, and then you take that and then you divide it by the middle of the lips to the chin. That's the golden ratio, 1.618. Which because some people they say design, oh, it could be interpretation of design. My argument is there are certain designs that you can objectively measure. For example, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, symmetry of butterflies of a person's face as well. They're symmetrical. So something coming from chaos, from nothing, from chance, creating itself doesn't make sense, because if you believe that particles are unconscious, unguided, mindless, materialistic things, how is it that they're creating things that are designed, that have purpose, that have, you know, design?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I think I don't think that we immediately had this sort of, I guess like what I'm, how do I say this? What you're describing is where like immediately we had this, like there was this intentional design with everything, but that design was immediate and it didn't develop over time. And what I'm saying with that mindless, matterless sort of thing is that it developed over this time. It wasn't like I understand that like an intentional, how one could see, oh yeah, that we were created with intent and everything.
Well, we have no issue with that, the development of things.
So if we actually agree with you have the material which has developed, then how do you get the consciousness? Because the material thing, just material thing cannot bring about the consciousness.
The material thing cannot bring about, but
yeah, because the consciousness is not a material thing that you can bring
like if
rock can become, you know, over time. I think we're ignoring.
No, but how can over time a rock become a human?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Can't happen.
Yeah. Simplistically, you have dead matter and suddenly you have live matter.
You know, that kind of
those
stuff.
developments.
Like those science, like I think, I just.
You need some rules. I mean, you need some rules. Otherwise, no meaningful development or meaningful outcome will come.
Like
You need some guiding rules, guiding principles. You need some guiding principles or rules for development.
He's saying if something's just happening by itself, randomly, unconscious, unguided, mindless, materialistic, yeah, how does it produce design?
Then you have no stable creation.
I'm not.
I mean, it will randomly go into inexistence. You know?
I mean, I think like the intelligent, but there are also like, but God designed a world where I'm sure that this is an argument that you guys have heard a lot, but a world with war and a world where we hate each other, and surely a creator like that.
But it doesn't disprove God.
How could God create that?
Okay, how you are living
Yeah,
peace.
but like surely, we may be intelligently designed, and we may follow the Fibonacci
Dawah,
ratio.
Habibi, Dawah.
And but, you know, I could have 3 eyes, I could have 4 eyes, and not follow the Fibonacci ratio. But I much rather live in a world which is good.
Now, for example, if
You will live in a world that's good, but that's paradise. This world is a test, and the bad things, I'm sure you agree with this,
No, but why
we
would God
appreciate,
test us?
but we appreciate things via their contrast. We appreciate night because of day, tall because of short, happy because of sad.
Yeah, but
No, it's just, they just come from Yeah, and they just want to be famous. Jeep. Do you understand that? We appreciate told because of short, happy because of sad.
Why does the dichotomy need to exist?
The dichotomy needs to exist for people that have been given free will.
How could genocide happen? How could he create these and these human
Genocide
beings?
happened by whom? Genocide.
Wait, even simpler than that. We undercut that. Free will.
Like, I think...
Cordelia, free will.
No, but
It's a consequence of free will.
War is necessary.
Really difficult in exam, in tests. He still, Allah still created us. And he created these beings who would make those choices.
Yes.
Why create us with the capacity for bad?
So then
We don't have a capacity to bad. Actually, we have a capacity to good.
Why even make choice a bad, like a bad choice, whatever that is? A choice to kill.
How would that make him more merciful if he takes away agency from us and then we're just robots that are just commanded to do something?
I don't think necessarily.
Do you see? Mercy is giving us a choice, letting us develop, letting us learn, letting us love and understand.
I don't think that could explain.
Cordelia, do you think
It's important. It's important
do you
that
think
we.
this killing and massacre, all of those things, this proof
Yeah,
God?
but like I can choose to, drink a bottle of water. I can choose to drink Diet Coke instead of Coke. But like in the choices that really matter, that's what I do.
Like what?
Like, I don't know. I could go on and on, about do I choose to join, I don't know, do I choose to send drone strikes? Do I choose, like with that kind of thing? Why, like, the vast majority of decisions are very banal. They don't really matter. And that's, I guess, how can God sort of create us with that capacity? When in reality, it shouldn't really, it's not like entirely impacting the whole of our...
Okay, what will happen if God doesn't give the capacity?
If God didn't give...
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying do away with the capacity, but I'm saying do away with the capacity to help one another. And to do that, why is that necessary in this world?
It's because the way that God has created us, this world, the nature of this world is a test. It's an examination.
But why should we be tested when you
because
have so much faith when
you have been given free will.
the question of why is up to the Creator. It doesn't negate the Creator, the fact that He's created us for a test, and that's up to Him. However, the nature and how we exercise that test, that's something that's up for debate. Why? That's up to the Creator. I mean, we can second guess that, but that doesn't.
Why should the Creator have that choice though? Why does He determine that?
Why he should?
I just think that it's I always thought of like free will as somewhat, forgive me, but it's sort of absolving him of any responsibility for the world that he has created.
No, exactly. Then what did you expect? Would you like?
Yeah, but then who has responsibility?
What kind of a world do you expect from a creator? Without free will, without anything, without good, without bad.
Without free will.
You're saying a world without evil.
A world without evil, yes.
That's what you're saying, yeah?
We're not.
So how do you define good?
But isn't that evil itself? A world without evil is evil. Because even if a person lives forever, you think that's evil?
Yeah.
In a world in which
Strong point.
yeah, there's a lot of things happening. People that live forever long to die. Dying is actually a mercy.
People that live forever. I mean,
I'm sure you've seen these movies in which